Hollywood has always obsessed over looks, but while everyone talks about female stars and their cosmetic work, men have been quietly changing too. For decades, studios have funded surgeries to keep their leading men looking flawless, but these transformations fly under the radar. Today, we're exposing the shocking plastic surgeries of some of Hollywood's most iconic male stars, including a rugged legend from the golden age you'd never expect. Ready to have your favorite classic films reimagined? Let's dive in. And hey, tell me where you're watching from in the comments. I love connecting with classic film fans worldwide. 1. Clark Gable, Hollywood's first cosmetic icon. Clark Gable wasn't born with that classic Hollywood charm. When he arrived in Tinseltown in the late 1920s, MGM executives were quick to spot two problems: his protruding ears and severely damaged teeth. To transform him into the king of Hollywood, Gable underwent opening surgery without anesthesia and had most of his teeth removed and replaced with dentures due to severe gum issues. These dramatic changes were kept secret, setting a precedent for discreet male makeovers in the industry. As Dr. Anthony Griffin explains, Gable's transformation became the blueprint for enhancing masculinity without looking artificial. 2. Cary Grant, the gentleman who fine-tuned his face. Before he became the dashing Cary Grant, he was Archibald Leach. His journey to becoming a silver screen legend involved strategic enhancements, starting with extensive dental work in the early 1930s. By the late 1950s, Grant underwent an upper eyelid lift to refresh his tired gaze. Alfred Hitchcock alluded to the changes without naming them. Katharine Hepburn once joked that Grant treated his looks like a finely tuned machine. According to Dr. Jessica Wu, his discreet tweaks set a high bar for subtle male cosmetic procedures, a standard that continues today. 3. Dean Martin, the cool crooner with a carefully crafted look. Dean Martin's charm wasn't entirely natural. Early in his career, Martin had a rhinoplasty around 1953 to refine his nose, a move his makeup artist later confirmed. As he aged into the 1970s, he had a facelift and eyelid work to keep his youthful edge on screen. Though rarely discussed openly, insiders like Sammy Davis Jr. joked about the tweaks. Dr. Paul Nassif credits Martin with ushering in an era of low-key male cosmetic enhancements, blending classic cool with evolving beauty standards. 4. Kirk Douglas, honest and unapologetic. Kirk Douglas stood apart by embracing transparency. Starting in the mid-70s, he underwent a facelift and continued to have cosmetic work into his 80s, including brow and eyelid lifts. In a 1988 interview, he openly admitted to surgery, saying, "Everyone does it." His son Michael later said Douglas was always proactive in maintaining his look. Dr. Stephen Teitelbaum notes that while early work kept him natural-looking, later surgeries reflected the evolving, and sometimes overstated, aesthetic of the times. 5. Burt Lancaster, the acrobatic perfectionist. Known for his athletic frame and magnetic screen presence, Burt Lancaster took a holistic approach to his image. He started with opening surgery in 1947, followed by dental veneers in the 50s. In 1967, he had an endoscopic brow lift and later tried thread lifts in the 70s. His cosmetic philosophy mirrored his physical discipline. As he once said, "This business is about illusion." Dr. Alan Matarazzo praises Lancaster's method as a gold standard in subtle transformation without sacrificing authenticity. 6. Robert Mitchum, preserving the rugged look. Robert Mitchum had a different strategy: enhance but don't erase. He underwent a minor nose refinement in 1947 but kept the heavy-lidded eyes that became part of his trademark look. He resisted an eyelid lift and instead focused on preserving his jawline with minor work from the late 60s through the mid-70s. His doctor, Ronald Curran, described it as maintenance, not reinvention. Mitchum's gritty realism, both in appearance and roles, cemented his legacy as a true original. 7. Burt Reynolds, from action star to aesthetic cautionary tale. Burt Reynolds didn't shy away from surgery, and he didn't hide it either. After a jaw injury on Deliverance, he had corrective surgery, followed by early and painful hair transplants in 1978. In the 80s, he had multiple facelifts, eventually admitting in interviews that he went too far. By the 90s, the work was noticeably overdone. In his memoir, he expressed regret. Dr. Anthony Yoon says Reynolds' case is a lesson in how chasing eternal youth can backfire if not done carefully. 8. Robert Redford, the master of the slow fade. Redford's boyish good looks seem to defy time, but insiders suggest strategic, minimal enhancements helped. Beginning in the mid-80s, he's believed to have had minor eyelid procedures and later a conservative lower facelift. Redford never confirmed or denied anything, instead opting for small updates over dramatic overhauls. Dr. Patricia Wexler calls this incremental aging, allowing him to look like a mature version of himself without drastic shifts. His transition from actor to director made this slow evolution more feasible and more authentic. 9. Sylvester Stallone, the open book of cosmetic enhancement. Unlike many stars, Stallone has openly admitted to cosmetic surgery. Born with facial paralysis and later injured during a stunt, he had early corrective procedures out of necessity. By the mid-1980s, he began refining his jawline and hairline to maintain his leading man persona. Over the years, Stallone has had multiple touch-ups, all while continuing to perform physically demanding roles. He once said, "These are the tools of the trade." Dr. Cheryl Aston believes Stallone represents a new kind of transparency, embracing enhancement as a career necessity rather than a taboo. 10. Al Pacino, from method actor to methodical enhancer. Al Pacino's early career was defined by raw intensity, not polish. But by the 1990s, changes were noticeable, especially his previously receding hairline, which suddenly looked fuller. Experts believe Pacino had early hair transplants, likely using outdated plug techniques. By the 2000s, signs of facial work became visible. Though never confirmed by Pacino, Dr. Robert Bernstein points to subtle but clear interventions that helped him maintain screen presence without altering his signature look.